I want to give you tonight a most powerful, helpful, healthy fact, which will save you if you heed the fact, which will save you a lot of things. It'll save you from reading thousands of books of philosophy. It'll save you from wearing your mind out. It will save you grief that can give you an avoidance of grief. That simple fact is as follows. It is not necessary to be bad. Now you better hang on to that, because you didn't hear what I said. You heard the words, but you didn't hear the meaning and back of it. Now what I said was, it is not necessary for you to be bad. And I'll add a second thought to it, and then we'll come back to the original one. If it's not necessary for you to be bad, which it isn't, then it's not necessary for you to feel bad. I said, and this is the thought will save you reading all those books and going through life, staggering through life. If you will follow with me tonight the truth, the absolute truth, that is not necessary for you to be a bad person anymore. Yes, you do think it is necessary. As a matter of fact, you're so devoted to being bad that you spend your whole day and you spend your whole life practicing being bad. Oh, do you believe in being wicked, in being weak, and passing your troubles off onto someone else instead of finding that they originate in you? Yes, you believe in and vow that badness is good, necessary, and something that at all costs you have to keep in your life. Now there's no way at all that you can deny what I just said, because your way of living proves that you like to be a bad person. You like to strike out at other people. You like to criticize. You actually love to keep things upset. You are in love with distress. Now come on, this is your chance to break through. Tonight is your chance to break through and out of yourself if you'll just follow honestly what I'm telling you, so that all of a sudden it strikes you as being what it is, which is true. Worry, concern over yourself, that is bad, because it's not necessary. Now why would billions of human beings, 5 billion now, and counting as they say, why would 5 billion people believe in ill health, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual ill health? Why would they be so bad as that? Well, I have to give you a very simple answer to that, because they don't know any better. Oh, it's going to be too bad for you if you go out of here and don't ever know any better. If you continue to believe in the need and the power of being a rude person, of being hateful, if you go out of here continuing to believe in that, you're not going to have a future at all beyond this life. If you believe in this type of life that you have now, of being arrogant, of pretending that you understand when you don't really understand, if you believe in that, that's what you're going to have all the time. You've had it all the time up till now, up to this 2 minutes after 7. You have lived with a self that is pure ignorance. I'm not insulting you. I'm not even scolding you. And I want you to know that. I want you to know that I'm stating a fact that is obvious, but not to you. It's obvious to truth. One day it will be obvious to you that you wanted to hang on. You wanted to hang on to just worrying about everything. And there is nothing to worry about. I am telling you there's nothing to worry about because there's no worrier there. You have created him and gone along with it and clung to that. Did you hear what I just said? I said that in reality, there is no worrier. You, in your ignorance of life, of spiritual principles, you have built that up, and you think you love it. No, you hate it, but you call it love because it becomes something for you to do with yourself. See, let me explain one of the most malicious tricks of the false nature. It tells you to do something, say something, feel something. Go out and conquer the world. Go out and get the applause from other people. If you can't get their applause, then get their hatred. Get anything you can, stir up anything you can in the world. It tells you to go into action, because then you'll feel something from those actions, you'll get reactions, and that will be your life. It is not, it's a lie. You know, when you come into this class, you have to be willing to take it. You have to be willing to listen to what is being said, and even if you get mad, which you do half the time while I'm talking, you still stick with it. So I'm going to tell you something now, and I want you to be a very careful witness of your own reactions. When I say what I'm going to say, I want you to know what you're going to do, because this will help break the egotistical, artificial self which has you in its clutches. Here's the statement, very simple. You don't have any life at all. You don't have anything worthwhile in your life. Nothing at all. Now, would you like to argue with me about that? Well, tell yourself what you have of value. Go ahead. Tell yourself. Come on. I'm serious. I'm not joking. I'm serious, and I'm helping you. I want you to tell yourself what you have that is of real value, that makes you happy. You can't do it. There's no way you can do it. And I hope you now take that as evidence of how empty you really are. Absolutely empty, thinking you were full. Now, do you remember how I started the talk? I said, no, put it in different words. You think that it is essential, needful for you to be bad. Now, I know we have to cover a secondary point before we go on to the main one. I know you never call yourself bad. You call yourself good. See, the other person's always bad. You're always the good one. You're always the nice. You're innocent. The other person is the criminal. You're good. I want you to know something. You do know in the depths of your being that you're a bad man. You're a bad woman. Yeah, you know it. You know it, and the reason you're wasting your life is because you ignore what you sense and you refuse to face it. And you've avoided the storm inside long enough. Now look, truth, spiritual principles are so perfectly logical. But that's the last thing you want is logic, because it'll expose you as the phony that you are and as the bad person that you are. So I'm going to give you some logic. I'm going to review a couple of things that we said to be logical for you, and you pick it up. What is badness? All right, let's quickly get some definitions of it. Badness is an artificial, self-created, sick nature that is apart from God. That's badness in its general definition, right? Anything apart from God has to be bad, can't be good, because God, the kingdom of heaven, is good. What are some examples of bad things that you now call good things because you think that you have to have them? How about filling in the blank yourself as I'm talking to you? What do you do that you know in your heart hurts? Don't avoid this. What do you do that in your heart you know hurts and harms and injures you? What do you do? How about malicious thoughts? How about blaming other people when you know very well that you're the cause of your own misery? What bad things are you calling needful? I tell you, if you see through what I'm talking about tonight, if you understand it, you will go out of here a new kind of a human being. That doesn't mean anything to you now, because all you know is the old human being, man or woman, that you have so falsely and foolishly cherished, and have therefore cut yourself off from being happy. You're not happy at all. It's foreign to you. All you have is a series of badnesses in word, in jealousy, for example, and thinking great plans of how you're going to get revenge on someone. Heaven help you if you ever cherish revenge. And you do. You like to get one up on someone else, don't you, so that you can feel the badness that you have called good. Your badness is your mortal enemy. Your badness is destroying you. Want to argue up on that point? What would you say that being a hater, knowing all the answers, pretending that you do, what would you say those sick attitudes are doing to you and to everyone else around you? When you're a bad human being, cruel, thoughtless, shallow, petty, when you are that, would you say that that is good for you or bad for you? It's bad for you. See, you don't have any spiritual discernment at all because you don't want it. You don't know the difference. This should be astounding to you. You don't know the difference between being good to yourself and being bad to yourself. Unfortunately, you have wasted all these years hurting yourself, saying you're doing something good to yourself. There's one way to be good. I'll go on to the theme of badness in a minute, but the one way to be good is to understand your badness. And when you were good, there's so many things I could say, and I have to select truth. When you're good, you're not there anymore. You're not leading your life anymore. Something else is leading your life, and you thank God for that. You thank God for that. one of your badnesses is the fear that this self you have, that's not going to come out all right. That all your plans are going to fall apart, which they are, by the way. All your plans always fall apart. You're so badly worried all the time that you're not adequate, that you won't be able to keep your girlfriend. She might see through you and walk out. Yeah, and you worry about that. Oh, that career of yours. You put all the things you can on the side of advancing your career. You lie to people. Get a little better education, maybe. You're prompt to be on appointments to get your career going faster. You're so worried that you're going to make one little slip. One little slip and the whole thing crashes. I guarantee you that it will crash. I guarantee you that it crashes every day because his balloons and bubbles can only last so long. And that's all your life is one imaginary aim and goal and desire after another. All because you don't know the difference between good and bad. Now, there is hope. And I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you where you have to start. When you did that bad thing, you knew it was bad. There is no human being on the face of this earth, no one, never was, never will be, any human being who can do bad without having underneath, way down deep inside of him, the knowledge that it was bad. I said you covered it up, and I spent a lot of time going over that. When you do bad, when you do wrong, when you deceive someone, when you hurt someone, when you're rude, when you're arrogant, when you lie to get a little gain of someone, you know it was wrong. Now I'm going to tell you what your one chance is of accomplishing the only worthwhile goal in life, which is to find out who you really are. All of you have one chance, and that chance is to work, come to every class here, study, talk with other people who are interested in these things, work at home, notice yourself, notice when you make a gesture that you made that gesture. What you have to do is to recapture or capture that dim warning voice that told you it was wrong at the moment you did it. Now, your self-deceptions and your wish to get that money or that woman or that man, they have covered up your opportunity for salvation. Your opportunity being to get all the help you can get, and do you need help? To get all the help you can get, and recovering that sensing of wrongness, of badness at the time you do something bad. And I'll tell you, and you know this before I tell you, you know that throughout your whole day, you do things that are against trueness, that are selfish, self-seeking, that are petty, that are brutal. You know that you do those things, but you don't hear the warning signal that clangs off. You have cut it off because you don't want to hear it. You had better, for your soul's salvation, want to hear the warning from now on. Example. Here is a statement that you make that you do not know you make. Therefore, you're punished by being unconsciously bad. You fake and pretend that you understand things that you don't really understand. That is so deeply buried inside of you. It's going to take a lot of hard work for you to dig down into it and come face to face with it. Now look, when you do that and do these other self-witnessing and self-digging that I said, it's going to be very painful to you. See, a false class, a false church, that's one place where they lie to people. They never make a statement like that, which I'll talk more on in a minute. But I want you to see for yourself how different it is here, which means you can only find salvation here because the truth is here. But you're always lied to by people who just want your presence or want your contributions or want whatever they can get from you. They always lie and make blasphemous statements like this. All is love, all is kindly. Don't think about pain, don't think about evil, don't think about badness. Just think about God and love. No, there is a very special machine by which you can see through liars and hypocrites like that and won't fall into their trap anymore. That machine, you can have that machine. It's called spiritual perception. Now, I've given you some aid over the years in building that by telling you to beware of people who are always talking about love and cooperation and kindness and helping the poor and giving a hand to the downtrodden. You beware of such people. They're using you. They're losties who want to keep you lost. All right. I'll cover that in detail in another class. Write this next sentence down, please. Stop wasting pain. Stop wasting pain. Oh, pain, suffering, anguish are gold when you use them right. You waste them. When someone does something bad to you, says something bad, and you do something bad in return, you've not only wasted the original pain, but you've given yourself a second one. You call me a bad name. That hurts when you call me a bad name. You hurt me, I'm going to hurt you. I've got two hurts now. Do it different. Think what I said, that magnificent statement, don't waste pain. It's gold. Someone does something bad to you. All right. If you want to remain a little kid, a cruel human, if you want to remain outside of the kingdom of heaven, you just get even. You say the same thing to him. You make the same rude remark. Do the same thing to him that he did to you. And you will get, as most people already have, so in love with the sensation of pain, one after another, one pain after another. You'll get so in love with that, you'll never find the kingdom of heaven. You'll remain in the kingdom of hell. Well, wouldn't you connect pain and hell? Logical, is it not? Hell's certainly not a happy place. It's not a happy state to live in. Anguish, hell, both connect together. So, from now on, instead of being a little machine that reacts in kind, you're going to understand what I said. Don't waste pain, instead use it. What does that mean? Let's see. Remember you've seen it, the dominoes all lined up, hundreds of dominoes. They even show them on television. Someone spends 2 months setting up 10,000 dominoes, and in 2 minutes they're all gone when they knock them down. They put them on camera. You know what you have to become? The space between two dominoes. You pull yourself out so that you're not a part of the crashing dominoes in life. You as an individual, salvation is individual. You have to be the person who pulls himself out of the masses of sick society, everyone knocking everyone else down. You have to be the one where there's just space there so that when this one falls down, it doesn't reach the next one and there's space and it doesn't continue. Now this requires a lot of things on your part, including, I'm going to say it again, including coming to every single class here at New Life Foundation. Our dominoes are safe for the moment. There's a space between. So let me ask you something. What do you have on any night of the week, not just Wednesday and Friday and Saturday and Sunday? What do you do on any night that's more valuable than saving your soul? What's valuable to you? What do you do that is ridiculously frivolous and probably very expensive too? Go ahead, name it. What has happened to your mind? What has happened to it that you ever, since you came here the first time, ever miss a single meeting? How come you're not here 3 hours ahead of time? And hang around for an hour afterward wanting to talk with other people? Because you can't get enough. Oh, I know the answer. My question was, and I know the answer to it, what happened to you? Shall I tell you, you were born into this world. That's what happened. You now have no excuse because I told you that you can never be bad without the warning signal going off. You have no excuse any longer for ignoring it. If you're going to be bad, you're going to feel bad. And if you're going to feel bad, I'll tell you something else is going to happen to you. You're going to be a sickly, absolutely terrified man or woman. A sneaky little coward that crowds together with spouse or family or political organization or the men's club or the ladies' club. And you're going to go down to those places once a month, once a week. And you're going to spend your whole life chasing around, doing stupid things, pretending that the warning voice isn't there, but you'll never be able to escape it. No one ever has, and no one ever will. Therefore, come to your senses, for heaven's sake. Come to your senses and start to listen to it. You get help here. You'll learn. You'll understand how to get help. Story time. Picture big hills, rocky hills, big countryside. Dozens of dark caves. And you heard something. You heard that at the back of every one of those dozens of dark caves in the mountains, there's a treasure. Jewels, rubies, and diamonds, and sapphires. Big treasure chests at the back of the cave. However, in front of every cave, there's a fierce dragon with glowing eyes and hot breath. Now, here's the problem. You want to get at the treasure, but that dragon is in front of it. He sees you coming, and he starts growling and eyeing you at a long distance, and you get more terrified and go away. Now, first of all, I have to tell you that it is possible for all of you in this room hearing this talk to do one thing at a time, which is to conquer one dragon in front of one cave and go in and get the treasure. That treasure being your spiritual nature, your true nature, which is all you really need. You don't need badness. You do need goodness. You have to go one at a time up to the dragons and conquer them. What does that mean? It means, I gave you the illustration of people who waste their time. They go to their clubs and their foolish activities and all their false ways of saving the world. Instead of facing the dragons inside themselves and learning how to get them out of the way in order to get at the treasure, they go off and distract themselves and pretend that all is well. Now, I always have to say this because you're so ignorant. Your ignorance is depths way down. Very few human beings are ever going to go up and confront the dragon and learn how to vanquish it, banish it, and get at the treasure. Very few are going to do that. Very few human beings are ever going to be saved. They have something better to do on Wednesday and Friday and Saturday, Sunday, when the classes in dragon slaying are held. What do I need to go back there for? You know, it's a terrible, terrible thing. And I want all of you to remember this when you go out of the talk here tonight. It's a terrible thing to fall so permanently in love with self-torment, with hell, that you are no longer able to see it. That's called doom. That's called living an animal life. That's called being possessed by darkness and devilish spirits. That's practically everyone. It'd be very sad for anyone who hears this talk or any other talk to not realize. It'd be very sad for you and bad if you don't realize that what you've been hearing for the last half hour is utterly unique. Absolutely different. And the only thing that's going to save you from your sneering ignorance. Do you know that hell is packed with sneerers? Sneerers who know better than what was said here tonight? Who don't need this kind of advice? Who don't need self-correction? See, therefore, sort of a little summary here, the one chance you have, the one opportunity you have is to be walking down the street someday, or maybe getting a glass of water at home, and all of a sudden you notice that the one thing, sure thing that has controlled your life ever since you were a little child was evil, was mental unhealth, was vicious emotions. You have no chance for salvation, for eternal life, unless you learn how to confront those dragons and get at the treasure of self-knowledge, and then after that, allow truth to continue its good work, so that maybe a year from now, 5 years from now, you'll again be in the kitchen or walking down the street, and you'll say to yourself, I attended that talk on a Wednesday night at New Life Foundation, and the man said in his talk that I don't know how bad I am, and he also said that badness is bad for me. And he also said that I treasure badness, and also said that I also therefore like to feel bad. Oh no. Oh. He said we're all stupid, and I have to accept that. I didn't know how stupid and arrogant. I didn't know that every word that was said in that talk was pure compassion, was pure love. I didn't know that every idea, every thought I heard was trying to help me, and I sit there like a human devil and fight what was told me to save me. Pray to God that one day you will have that experience. If you don't, you listen to me, if you don't have that experience, you shall not be saved, and you will go out of this world screaming. There is only one way to exit this world without a scream. There's only one way to exit this world in the physical body without screaming, and I'll tell you what it is. One way. There's many ways to explain it. The one way you will attain eternal salvation is to not be afraid to give up your entire existence as you now live it and suffer from it. Now that is absolute. There's no way you can outwit God and his rules. There's no way you're going to win. You think you're winning now by being a stubborn ignoramus. You think that you're winning, therefore you don't need to come to every class. You don't need it. You've got it. You know more than that man giving that talk up there. I know more than him. What is terrifying you? Let me tell you what's terrifying you, that very statement. What are you arguing for? Why do you need to argue? Why do you need to tell yourself and your spouse and everybody else that you don't need the class, that you know better? Have you ever noticed? If not, please notice it. You notice that you can't stop thinking about a talk once you've heard it? None of you in this room is ever in your entire life going to forget this talk tonight. Impossible. You're here. You're never, ever going to forget it. And the more you try, the more you're going to remember it. Doesn't that make you happy? No, because your egotistical nature took it and twisted it. It should make you happy because that means that you can see that you've been taking you can see your torment there, and you'll remember the talk where I said that you love to be bad. Yes, I love my torment. I love to fight. I love to argue. I love to win. You never win. You've never won in your life. You're a loser. You're 100%. You are 100% loser. And you're getting more scared every day because you look in the mirror every day and you don't look like your high school graduation photo. How many of you see a slight change? Come on. You threaten people, therefore you think this is a threat. Don't you know the simplest principles of psychology, one of them called projection? That means you project your evil and think other people are as evil as you are. You've got hatred on your mind all the time, so you project and think other people are hateful. They are, by the way, but it's you're projecting. Now look, I know all about you. I know all about your wicked nature. That's why you have a chance. That's why anyone who comes here has a chance to be saved. And I know that you love to think in terms of the word I just used, of being threatened. Why is he threatening me like that? Why did you take it as being threatened? I'll tell you why. I've been telling you for 40 minutes now why. Because you love to feel the hell of feeling threatened. He threatened me. That's the important word, me. He said if I don't come to every class, something bad's going to happen to me. Well, let's see. Tomorrow is Thursday, isn't it? And then it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and so on. This is the month of July, then August and September. When you go home, if you're fighting what you're hearing here, and parts of all of you are fighting it, you take a paper and pencil, and you tell me what good things are going to happen to you tomorrow, Thursday. And tell me another good thing's going to happen to you on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and in August and September. Write down a list of good things that are going to happen to you. Oh, you're going to get the shock of your life when you try to think of even one good thing that's going to happen to you, because only bad things are going to happen to you, not good things. Looking forward to the World Series in November is not a good thing. It's of this world. Looking forward to that new ice box so you can pack more food into it. Oh, did I hit home there? That's not a good thing. That's a thought that you have. The good life, the spiritual life, comes to you and is your permanent possession when you put truth before falsehood. And you go through your whole day with that one aim in mind. As much as it upsets me, as much as it makes me nervous, I'm going to put truth before falsehood. You do this as best you can. God expects you to do one thing. God expects you to do one thing with this talk tonight. He expects you to take it and start with it. You've got a long, long road to go, and you need the help of this class. You need the help of this class 4 times a week if you're ever going to make it, because you're pretty far out in the desert of loving pain. We work together here at New Life. Come and join us, and we'll all go upward together. Good night.